I'm incredibly jealous of the relationship my husband and daughter have. My husband and I have a 14-year-old daughter. My daughter is very close with her dad, and it makes me very jealous, and I hate feeling this way. I've always been into more traditionally feminine things like fashion and shopping, while my husband likes normal guy stuff like video games and sports. My daughter has been playing hockey since she was 6. My husband has played hockey since he was a kid as well, and when they're not watching NHL games on TV, they're playing video games together. I grew up playing classical piano, my husband grew up playing guitar, and my daughter picked up drums, and they play together. When it really hit me though is when I needed to text my daughter something and my phone was upstairs, so I asked to borrow my husband's phone. I opened their text thread, and while my texts with my daughter are mostly things like "what time do you need picked up?" and "love you," their texts were full of jokes and sharing memes and funny videos. I definitely don't have a bad relationship with her, we get along well minus normal teenage moodiness and are very loving, but it just hurts that they seem to have a special closeness that her and I don't have. It especially sucks because I had such a horrible relationship with my own mother that I vowed I would never let my own child feel that alone and abused like I was. When I found out we were having a daughter, I was so excited because I thought I would finally have a chance to have the mother-daughter experiences I never had with my own mother, and while obviously she is her own person and isn't beholden to what I wanted out of our relationship, it just hurts. It also makes me feel guilty that I feel like this at all because my husband is so wonderful, and I read so many stories about women dealing with husbands who don't help with the kids or have even abandoned them that it makes my shit seem so insignificant. We have an amazing marriage and he's such a devoted dad and fantastic husband. He knows how I feel and has made efforts to include me in their activities, but while I'll watch games I just don't get hockey like they do, yelling 14 consonant Russian names back and forth. I'm terrible at video games, and I have to buy sheet music to play any rock songs with them while they can find guitar music for any song in a matter of seconds. Maybe I just want to vent, but I hate feeling like this. Daughter here. I have a really good relationship with my dad. I'm a bit of a tomboy and firstborn. But I had a good relationship with my mom too on things she enjoyed. Why don't you ask her what she's interested in doing or what she would like to do on a daughter-mom date? Or learn something new together. It's not all lost, I promise you, and kids usually lean one way or another and it changes all the time. Breathe, it'll be okay. Just ask her what she'll like to do. Maybe this is just their time to bond, and who knows, when she is closer to womanhood she will begin leaning more on you and finding more things in common. Until that happens, if it does, I think it's important to stay open and keep trying to find ways to enhance your bond and never let her know you have negative feelings like this. I think everyone has given wonderful advice, but I have also seen many people say to not worry because as she'll grow up she will naturally become more feminine and like her mother more. Do not absolutely bank on that. There are so many different ways for your daughter to grow up. Focus on her as a person, not as a daughter. I was very close with my dad until I hit high school, then I fought like cats and dogs with both parents. By the time the dust cleared and I had started digging out of a lot of internalized misogyny, my mom and I discovered we had a lot more in common than we had thought. Give it time, OP, life is long. I don't know how to help you, but I wanted to tell you, you are very respectful and fair and your feelings are valid. You have a lifetime ahead to deepen your bonds, and your daughter is very lucky to have both very respectful and loving parents. I'm sorry you feel this way, but maybe you can find some common ground. I'm defo my father's daughter. He taught me sports and spent more time with me than my mom. But I love to read, and me and my mom had that. She'd take me book shopping. As I got older, my mom and I got closer. I'm sorry you feel left out. Maybe there's something you can find to share and build on. It may also take time as she's still not mature enough to reach out this way. Have you ever considered playing keyboards with them to make it a little band? You instill the relationship you have with your daughter, not the other way around. My mother was jealous of me and my dad and our relationship, and it has resulted in an estranged relationship. You simply need to deal with your feelings and stop acting like a passenger in a relationship where you are 100% the driver. This is very similar to me, my dad. We text all day long, and we'll spend hockey games on the phone. With my mom it's all very surface level plans and stuff. It's the opposite with my brother though. Him and my mom are super close. But I'll legit call my dad to ask my mom something when I know she's sitting next to him. Our personalities have just never really matched. I don't know much because I'm a first-time dad, but it seems you have to put in effort and find something that your daughter might enjoy doing with you. Maybe send her videos that you find funny or try engaging her sense of humor to know what would make her laugh. If your personalities are so different, maybe you can just cherish what you already have instead of forcing something that isn't there. Not the most helpful comment, but go to and play the chords for the songs if you're wanting to make jamming more accessible. I barely even bother with sheet music anymore, not when for most songs I can just improvise a bit on the progressions and fill in the blanks with any riffs the songs have. Everyone said good things already. And it's wonderful that you picked a wonderful day to be the parent of your daughter. At 14 most teens are rebelling against their moms and dads. So at her age her not being that close to you is a bit common. Her not being a girly girl is hard, I get that too. But she is only 14, she will change as the years go on. When it gets time for her to date and boy stuff or girls, if that's what she's into, she will be turning to you. And later, when you two find a common activity, you can bond over that too. My dad and I were closer throughout my teen and young adult years. We have very similar personalities and got along better than my mother and I did. But now that I'm married and have my own family, my mom and I are much closer. She understands my life now better than my dad does, and we talk often. I love both of them both so much. And I'm thankful to have a great relationship with both parents. So don't worry too much, kids tend to lean on one parent a little more during different seasons of life. Get a family thread going. Dad here, my 16-year-old daughter and I are the same, and my wife feels as you do. We're glad she told us, and we try to better about including her, at least keeping her in the know. I'm an auntie, not a mum, so I don't have a lot of advice to give. I just want to say it takes a lot of guts to take a good, hard look at yourself and reach out for help the way you have. The thing about envy is that it's often a defensive thing. It sounds like you're upset that dad gets to be the warm, fuzzy, and fun parent. One thing I will mention, please try not to let this affect your daughter. She's only 14, and she's learning about life and relationships from the both of you. Again, I'm proud of you, and I hope you can work this out. Get a keyboard and jam with them. The electric ones usually have a bunch of different pre-programmed sounds. You could play all sorts of stuff like jazz piano or 80s synth type stuff. You could start a family jam band. I was closer to my dad until my early 20s, but in the last decade it's flipped and I'm much closer to my mom. Just because this is your dynamic now doesn't mean it will stay that way forever. You don't connect because you have vastly different interests, and this usually also means different outlook in life. I think you expected a traditional daughter, but you got this instead, which if you ask me, is good for her. Nobody should be expecting of anyone predeterminate interests just based on their sex. This is part of what feminism has been always demanding. My advice would be finding someone to develop a friendship with whom you share interests. That really is all you can do. There will come a time she needs you for things her father can provide. Be there for her. You and hubby need to keep on working on things the three of you can enjoy. Is there something new you could all start doing as a family? Anything she has always wanted to try that you would be game for? Just chat with her. I realize we don't share common interests, but I'd like to hang out together more. Maybe we can think of some things to try together? I got way closer with my mom after finishing college and dealing with the realities of being an adult. She provides the kind of support my dad never could. She is strong and opinionated and helps me with hard decisions that seem to stump my father. Your time will come. More evidence that women aren't happy either way.